So in 2016, when I was first elected, we were assigned an office, but there was not much space in that office. So in order to have privacy, I would go downstairs and talk on the first floor. And there's a bench, and above it, there's a picture of former Governor Albert Ames. He was appointed as the governor of the state of Mississippi after Reconstruction. And he had a vision of uniting the state of Mississippi together. He made a commitment to include all of Mississippi, which meant former slaves, people of color, to be a part of the society, to grow Mississippi and make it better. Unfortunately, his words fell on deaf ears as he was run out of office at the time. And I sat under that portrait of Albert Ames. Would do interviews, take phone calls, talk about legislation. I know walking through these halls that I'm not supposed to be here in some folks' minds. And I felt inspiration under that portrait because I was sent here to unite us all and move the state of Mississippi forward.
When I campaigned for this position back in 2019, I had to go in some uncharted territories. One of the precincts was a rural area of Hinds County that was located at a church. And normal campaign behavior is that you go to all the places, right? Because you're trying to let folks know that you deserve the job, you deserve their vote. My husband and my son and I, we went to the church, to the Harvest Festival. I said, I'm gonna go talk to the folks and I want you, my son and my husband, to put cards, my campaign cards, on all of the cars. Well, in 5 minutes, my husband returned and I said, now that is a world record. I've never seen you work that fast before. He said, I just couldn't do it. And I said, why not? And he said, well, if you look on the cars, most of them have Confederate tags on the cars. And as a black man, I just don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe muddling around their cars seeing this symbol. And so I was elected, and I would walk into this building and walk into that chamber on the 3rd floor and pass that Confederate flag every single time I walked into this building. And it made me think about how my husband felt unsafe. It made me think about the terror of that time and just everything that that flag symbolized. And the fact that so many people, and we used to have a statue in this building, in this room, of former Governor Thomas Bilbo, how it was folks like that that did everything that they could to ensure that folks who looked like me never had an opportunity to serve in those positions. And then of course COVID hit and the murder of George Floyd happened. When we came back, we had folks like Representative Chris Bell and others that said, we need to do something about this flag.
The flag story, we had taken a recess. I was on my way to grab a cup of coffee, and one of my colleagues from Hattiesburg, she said, hey, if you guys are thinking about doing anything about the flag, I'm all in, let me know. I went back to my seat and I thought about it for 24 hours. I didn't share it with a single member until the next day. We put a committee together. We met right here in this room. This room is sacred to me because the flag change started right here in this room. I mean, it was just one of the greatest experiences because I never thought that I would be a part of changing something that didn't reflect the best of Mississippi. But it was very important to me. It was very important to my constituents and the people who live in the state of Mississippi that we got that done. It was a bipartisan deal. The former flag was killing us economically. And the only way that people understand certain things is when it hits them in the pocket. And if you recall, NCAA indicated there would be no more tournaments in the state of Mississippi until the flag was changed. The flag was changed, tournaments started coming to Mississippi.
I believe that my position as state representative is to ensure that we have equity in everything that we do. So my legislative agenda has really been focused on education, election reform, infrastructure development, things that I believe would help to bring equity, but also help to create the conditions by which people feel like they can thrive in the state of Mississippi, not just survive. So I am a former election commissioner before I became a state representative. That was my first political office.
We really need people like Representative Summers. We don't have early voting here.
But also, how can we do common sense election reforms like online voter registration? We've also pushed early voting here in the state of Mississippi, which we know is a solution to ensuring that folks have access. And honestly, I don't think it's a partisan issue. When we're talking about securing the rights to our democracy and making sure that all Mississippians have equal access, I think folks can get behind those kinds of reforms. Everybody will have equal access.
Pluribus Unum, I will tell you, love them. I appreciate everything that I've learned.
You can't do anything alone. I mean, you are not an island. You need as much help as you can possibly get.
We can't do everything. We don't know everything. And the more help that we receive, the better we are at our positions.
And it's partnerships like being a part of the fellowship with Pluribus Unum that provides you with resources, expertise, data that helps to support your policy goals.
I told you earlier that being an African American, it wasn't expected for me to be here years ago. I take pride when I come in this building because I know the burden is heavy. Excuse me. I know it's heavy.
But it was in 2020 that the time was right, that I was able to cast my vote to take down that flag and put up a new one that was representative of the true Mississippi. And it's a moment that I will be forever proud of, but also very humbled that God saw fit for me to be in position at such a time as this to be able to do that. So now I have an opportunity to walk into a building and walk into a chamber where the state flag is our new state flag that I played a direct role in making happen. And that'll go down in history. It is a worthwhile process. I just truly believe that our work is not in vain. And to whom much is given, much is required. And so we may have to sacrifice a little bit in order to see that light at the end of the tunnel, but I believe the light will come. And I'm excited and I'm very honored to be able to do that for children who look like me and for children who don't look like me.